diving into our next series here. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the quarterfinals. Is it?
It is actually, yeah.
There we go. So we're kind of
round of
nearing
8, if that's how you prefer to look at it.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of the bracket here. The winner of the series moves on to the semis.
Yeah. Moves on to semis to face either Solar, Gumiho, Showtime, or Solar, Gumiho, or Showtime as we load on into Neo Humanity. We're in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way to the bottom right-hand quarter. We have our blue Zerg player coming down from the land of... coming down. He is going to be representing StarCom, if I remember correctly. Yep, StarCom. He's a man known for many names. Previously Vanya, and then Radata, but now Wayne.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Onside Gaming, the Hero Slayer himself. It is Ryung.
Hero is updating us that there is one with a platypus. There is a coin with a platypus on it.
There you go.
In Australia.
Yeah, the Aussie animals, mate. Platypus, emu, kangaroo.
Yeah. Emu. That's the stages, right? That's like the ranks of animals there.
Yeah.
When you get promoted from Platypus League to Emu League? Question mark.
There you go. Yeah. Our animals have value and they know it. And some we value more than others. Ay.
F's for crocodiles and koalas. And all the animals that aren't on currency.
Oh boy. As we're getting into this, and hey, we kind of glossed over it, but yo, map number 1, I wonder what the vetoes were. We are here on Neo Humanity, mate.
Yeah, we're getting a Terra map coming out right off the gate.
Oh. Yeah, this is one of the more unique maps in the map where you do have to adjust your play quite heavily here on this map just because of its features to make use of them. And we already see Wayne going for a standard hatch gas pool, trying to go for his third base, but Ryung is here to deny it.
Yeah. But only for the time being. I mean, this SCV isn't really going to be holding up too much. Reaper will, though.
Yeah, exactly. It was a cute little trick there from Wayne. He was trying to stop the attack of the Reaper by initially going for the gas trick and then quickly going out of it to attack first. But Ryung was waiting for it. Ryung was very quick to turn back around and
ready to throw hands.
Ready to throw hands. Ready to throw drills, which is terrifying.
Yeah. That needs to be an attack for SCVs.
A ranged attack, you throw the drill?
Yeah. But you only get to use it once. It's not an attack, it's a spell. You have to throw the drill once. It doesn't actually do any damage. And then the SCV can't mine after that.
Yeah, you have to pick it back up, otherwise you can't mine. Yeah. Oh god, as Wayne is forced to take a bit of a different base here. He did mine out those gold mineral patches, and he is taking the linear third instead.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, I would say a little bit safer in every matchup other than ZVT. This is a little bit more hidden and a little bit more tucked away, but if you're a Terran player, you're looking at the very narrow entrance into this third base location. You're looking at that ledge right outside the top mineral lines here to place tanks on, and yeah, this is where I think a lot of Terran players want to fight.
Yeah, I mean, we did see that a couple of days ago as well, where Dark had a really hard time defending against Cure on this map, and that's because this third base, it's an arrow choke point, but like there's no high ground to go up here, so it's not as defensible as other third bases are on other maps, so it can be taken advantage of. But we can see Ryung is going for a very, oh my god, economic opener. He went for a third CC before Starport into some factories.
That's quite a few factories, and yeah, something that we really shouldn't be surprised about. Ryung was the OG mech aficionado way back in Wings of Liberty. You know, Gumiho helped. Gumiho paved the way quite a bit. He was a little bit of a pioneer, but yeah, when it came to mech itself, it was him and Ryung who really paved the way for everybody else.
Really did, and we'll see what kind of variations. So far, we already have it. Macfield accelerators on the way, and there is Blue Flames. We're going to be seeing a much more mobile battle mech composition, Ferrari mech, if you will. But Wayne has already kind of caught on to this. He did throw down a safety Roach Horn, so he will have access to them shortly.
Yeah, definitely a really good way of dealing with Hellion specifically. Ryung doesn't... No foot on the brakes, only on the gas. This is seems like a very quick Blue Flame from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, the Blue Flame and Macfield starting up at around the same time. Meanwhile, I believe it looks like Wayne has, for the most part, confirmed this. We have a Spire on the way behind this. Roaches are already being popped out. I believe safety roaches, as we even have a drop alert here on the right-hand side.
Interesting choice here from Wayne.
Yeah, I'm curious if Wayne knows what's happening, because Ryung has done a great job at keeping his Cyclones hidden in the main. Like, he's only been showing a handful of Hellions purposefully, just to keep this as hidden for as long as possible. But based on what we're seeing here, Wayne is, again, reading this quite well.
Yeah, he hasn't quite been able to dive into the main base with any Overlords or anything like that, but like you said, he is expecting mech to come his way. He is expecting Cyclones to come his way. I mean, he may not have seen much, but he saw a lot of Hellions at the very least. That's a box.
Yeah, it is, and here we go. The Hellions and Cyclones are pushing on forward. We do have some Roaches to defend. This is a very crisp timing with Blue Flame and with Macfield accelerators, and it looks like the lock-ons are a little bit too much.
Yeah, Queens is starting to fall down. Ryung is gonna reinforce with a couple more Cyclones on the way. Can't quite break that third base location, but he can prevent the fourth base from going up, and he can pick off a couple of Overlords here and there.
And there we go. That was a cancel just in time. A couple of these stray Overlords are going to be caught out as well. Wayne is getting supply blocked quite heavily. 8 Overlords on the way.
Yeah, and that's going to be affecting his Muta move out. You know, he was getting, we kind of glossed over it, but he was working on Spire pretty early on. He is looking to harass with these Mutas, which I think is the right call to make if you know that the Terran players are going to have too much back at home, too much Marines back at home to defend, or even Cyclones at home.
Oh my god, there's a lot of Roaches going to be going down once again. The lock-ons are brutal, and this is what I'm really concerned about here, because Mutas are good, but with the recent change to the Cyclones, Cyclones can honestly evaporate Mutas if they do get the lock-ons. Like, Mutas, they were already fragile before, they can be fragile again.
How fragile can we make them? That's the question.
That's the question. The Mutas are going across the map. They're going to be hitting this at the natural base, and Ryung was not prepared for this.
Yeah, he did not anticipate a Spire follow-up at all. He wasn't even making an eBay, so he can't actually make any turrets for a very long time. Cyclones, as he said, can absolutely melt Mutalisk, but they are still very mobile units. While Cyclones are mobile, they can't quite deal with Mutalisk while they're in dead air.
Exactly, and Ryung was just trying to bait his opponent in towards the fourth base location, but Mutas didn't take that bait. There's only 5 of them remaining here, but it's okay because Wayne, he did the damage that he needed to do. 17 SCVs went down.
Yeah, this was very necessary damage here for Wayne. He was behind quite a bit when it came to the worker count, which is not a position you want to be in at all as a Zerg player, but with that assault, he was able to catch back up, and with a round of drones, he is able to overtake Ryung as well. Very, very correct response here from Wayne, not just with those Mutalisks, but now to go into Infestors.
Yeah, but the Infestors are a little bit late here. Pathogen Glands is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. A lot of Roaches have already gone down, and Wayne is trying to catch back up. This fourth base is so very delayed. He kept getting denied time and time again. He did just go for a Ling run by as well, but it was cleaned up here by Ryung. Ryung still has quite a bit of momentum. We're kind of waiting. We're banking on these fungals, on these Infestors.
Yeah, it's one hell of a way to really negate the mobility of Battle Mech, and especially every single one of these Cyclones. It's very, very necessary for Wayne right now to make sure that these Cyclones cannot get their lock-ons and cannot kite as efficiently as Ryung would like to.
Yeah, speaking of kiting, we do have one fungal here on 3 of these Cyclones. They're going to be able to go down. Mine shots are going to be going off, though, and a lot of these Roaches are getting picked off as the Cyclones retreat.
Yeah, this is a little bit silly here. One of these things that I think you can only really get away with on Neo-Humanity is to just retreat all the way back to your base and then go for a follow-up counterattack and have it still work.
Yeah, pretty much, and that goes both ways, to be fair, as we're bleeding out a lot of Roach Ravager. We have Lings coming in to reinforce, but Wayne has to be careful not to overextend. It looks like Wayne is going to back off for the time being.
Yeah, as Infestors need to get a little bit more energy, he cannot win a head-to-head engagement against all of those Cyclones. Which, once again, is why this is the right call for Wayne, is to just try to keep Ryung on his side of the map for as long as possible, while he himself tries to establish a little bit of an economy and build as good of an army as possible. He is not quite maxed out yet, but pretty close.
Yeah, Wayne is going for a super max, by the way. He's staying at 68 workers, and that is it. This is going to be pretty, I don't know if I want to say all in, but pretty committed. Basically, if Wayne loses an army, he's going to have a really hard time replacing it.
Yeah, if he's not in, he's going to be out. Which is the issue.
Pretty much, and here we go. Once again, the Fungals are going to be connecting here with some of these Cyclones, and Biles are not going to quite connect, though. Oh.
Yeah, a couple of Biles do land on SCVs, but not too many of them. A lot of SCVs are starting to fall, and the Planetary is very vulnerable. There was no repair anymore, and it will fall down in the end. Cyclones are still standing strong, but Ryung is bleeding out a lot of everything right now. Workers, Cyclones, Hellions.
Yeah, both players actually hurting quite a lot here as the Roach Ravager army is completely being cleaned up. Wayne may have killed a Planetary, he may have killed a Mineral Line, but was it worth it?
Well, we're about to find out, because Ryung is now on roughly even worker count and economy as Wayne. With a couple of mules, he might even be ahead. Ryung is now priming for the counterattack, and I don't think Wayne has anything to defend. He's going for a counter harass of his own with those Lings, but I don't know if it's going to work out for him.
God, look at the minefield. It's insane. The Lings are going to be fighting some damage, but we have reinforcements back at him to clean them up again. The Blue Flame Hellions are going to make short work of all those Lings. Meanwhile, the Roaches are pushing on forward, but we don't have that many of them. We have not remade the Infestors. Are not ready yet.
Yeah, and so they really cannot root or fungal any of these Cyclones. Mines aren't the scariest units to come across with Roaches, but if there are enough of them, that damage stacks so quickly.
Really does. Meanwhile, the Biles, are insane here on these mines. Are going to be going down one after the other. The Infestors have come out. We do have a bungle.
Yeah, a little bit of a flanking Infestor comes out, but there was only one and now two Fungals. Biles are going to be so important right now for Wayne, but even then, it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough.
Yeah, exactly. The reinforcements arrive. Biles are not going to be connecting here. Nice splits by Ryung. We are out of energy. GG gets called, and Ryung will take game number 1.
Wow. With such an active and fast-paced mech army. GG.
GG. Shout out to Ryung for not going for a turtle mech.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. But again, like,
you know he'd want to.
We may see it this series at some point. But again, it just also goes to show the power of that map, right? Like, mech is so mobile, and we saw as soon as Ryung took a good fight on his side of the map, immediately he rushes across the map, and then Wayne is on the back foot, and that worked both ways. You know, there was a bit of a back and forth here between the players. But we saw that Wayne was the player that was more committed there. You know, he's the one who cut workers early on and was looking to end the game with his big push.
Yeah, a little bit of a... I want to say miscalculation there for Wayne, but I mean, as a Zerg player, what more can you really do at that point when your 4th was delayed by so long, when you know you're really far behind the economy? Sure, his Mutalisks were able to clean up a lot of SCVs, but that just put him back on even footing. You know, and as a Zerg player, you want to be ahead. You want to be very far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, he was looking to, I don't know, maybe becoming a little bit impatient towards the end there. I think pushing in towards that Planetary probably wasn't the best call, but at a certain point, like, it was too late to turn around, because if you ever turn around against that army, I mean, you're just going to get run down by those Cyclones.
Yeah, they'll lock you on. Or he'll lock on you. Wait.
Yeah.
Either way, we are now going to be continuing our series on Royal Blood, where we're here in the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have our red Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is, of course, going to be representing Onside Gaming OSG. The tuna himself, he is Ryung.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, going for the pool first, we have the Blue Zerg player himself representing Team StarCom. It is Wayne.
Hell yeah. And this is an interesting choice here coming up from Wayne, because of course, this is him having the home server advantage, quote unquote. We are now playing on US Central. I do have to wonder if ping was a little bit of a factor there for Wayne in game number 1 as well.
Yeah, ping can always affect things like fungals. Those spells can be affected, so it's quite possible here. So yeah, now he's going to have that bit of an advantage. With a pool first, this is typically for safety. You can be aggressive with this. The goal here is to make a couple of lings slip out around the map here and try and delay that CC on the low ground. We'll see if he can pull it off, as Wayne is only making 2 lings.
For now, I mean, he has the larva, he has the resources to make more.
Yeah, he does. And here we go with this SCV scout. Ryung is going to be able to confirm that that natural base. He sees that it is delayed, so now he knows about the pool first.
He does, but he doesn't see the insanely quick third hatch coming out from Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the follow-ups that you can do off of a pool first, and that is a very quick third. So again, like, it's an interesting opener overall. It is going to delay his queen production, for example, as he does kind of sacrifice that for a faster hatchery, but at least he gets it up and running.
Yeah, Ryung will scout this, but there's not a whole lot that a single Reaper can do at this point. And if you're Ryung right now, you pretty much have 2 options. Do I double down on an aggressive opening, or do I go greedy? And it looks like Ryung goes for the latter with a 3 CC before starport.
There we go. The 3rd CC is on the way. And do you see what just died?
Ran 1 dimensional. Let's go.
I mean, it cost him the
But
Reaper.
I mean, the Reaper went down as well. So yeah, it was a trade.
Yeah, not the best trade there. And I love this. As the Reaper dies, immediately Wayne, he throws down a very early Roach Warren.
He knows. Oh, I think Wayne has recognized that he is in the head of Ryung a little bit. Ryung scouted the early 3rd, but has no more map presence anymore. He cannot scout that Roach Warren. There's that early 3rd, but as we can see, it's not going to be saturated at all.
Yeah, we'll see how many roaches we commit to, because we're pulling back into gas, but we don't have that much gas to work with. We may only make like 3 to 5 roaches just to go across the map and wreak some havoc, and we can drone up behind that. And there we go, 5 roaches are now in production. Only 5. Oh no, we're making a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, a little bit more. Let's see if we get even more behind this. With 6 roaches, you know, if Ryung is able to spot this early on, all he really needs to do is turn around with his Banshee and should be able to defend against roaches coming his way. Like you said, there aren't too many of them.
Yeah, this is designed. Oh, there we go. The roaches are already spotted here by the Hellions of Ryung. A very important scout. The Banshee is on the way. We're going to be preparing these roaches. Their goal here is to take control of the natural, kill SCVs, or at least force a liftoff as well to get an economic lead. But Ryung, upon seeing it, has some time to react here to prepare physically and mentally.
Yeah, decides not to go for a bunker and instead is, going to be relying mostly on this Banshee to defend.
And there we go, he does pull the warriors, he does evacuate the natural base. Unfortunately, a couple of SCVs are left back on the low ground, and 3 SCVs will go down.
Yeah, not the biggest of deals, but not a great start either. Wayne, like you said, isn't fully committed to this. He has now droned up heavily to saturate that 3rd base. Ryung holds, but yeah, he finds himself quite behind.
Yeah, exactly. So he does pull back to the natural. Now we have to wonder if that was worth it. I believe it was at 4 SCVs killed in total for 6 roaches. Now we're going to be going for a bit of a counterattack, but the additional roaches are coming out from Wayne. He should be safe from these Hellions.
Yeah, they should be safe from the Hellions, but as I check now we have 2 Banshees with Cloak on the map.
Oh, exactly. And are we ready for this? We do have a Spore in every single base. The Queens are nicely spread out as well, so these Banshees are going to have a hard time finding some damage. Oh, but they will catch some of these transferring workers.
They should, like so. And of course, ideally right now, if you're Ryung, the Banshees will be able to pull the attention of Wayne away a little bit while the Hellions dip in and dive into a mineral line.
And the Hellions tried to dip in at least towards the 4th base. They do get eyes on it, but it looks like they can't really do too much about it. 5 drones do go down, so Ryung does kind of do... Oh, God! Do some counter damage. He loses a Banshee, though.
Yeah, things weren't looking too bad for Ryung till that happened.
Yeah, not the best trade here for Ryung. Otherwise, he would have been able to dip back in and get a couple more drone kills. Not going to be ideal here, as Wayne is going to be able to saturate his bases, start working on his upgrades, and now start working on his army.
Slowly but surely, looks like we are going to be getting another roach-heavy composition coming out from Wayne. Ryung, on the other hand, switches things up. He is going for Bio, Marine Tank, which isn't the best against roaches specifically, but if he can get enough tanks out to defend, or if he scouts early on and recognizes, wait a minute, he's committing to this.
Yeah.
He can start to get a couple of Marauders out.
Well, Wayne hasn't been droning. He cut workers about a minute ago, and he's still not droning at all. He's just focusing on roaches, lings, and ravagers. He's going to be going very, very strong timing, and Ryung needs to recognize that this 4th base is only for larva. He hasn't confirmed that yet. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be, because Ryung needs to get bunkers up. He needs to prepare back at home.
He needs to get bunkers up. He needs to siege up his tanks. Roaches are about to get ready to move out, and Ryung doesn't see it. Now he sees 4th base.
Yeah, and he sees how empty it is. He's going to be able to get a free kill here, and this should be ringing alarm bells for Ryung. This should not be happening, and if it is, it's for a reason.
Yeah, Wayne gives up that base, and he is just pushing across the map with everything he's got. Ryung now confirms, that's a lot of roaches coming my way. Even prematurely pulls the boys, just in case he needs them to buffer.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like the 4th base is going to be cancelled. The wall is not a wall. The laser putting into the natural base. The boys are being pulled. Can we protect these tanks?
Gonna try. The tanks are pretty far off, so yeah, it's gonna be a while before they can really get anything. Tank in the main base goes down.
Wow, the Banshee gets biled down as well by those Ravagers. We do have 2 tanks at that 3rd base, but again, very isolated. The boys are being pulled here. Ryung, he knows how desperate the situation is, but I don't know if he has enough to defend.
Yeah, we'll see. He's pulling a lot of everything he's got. Ravagers are starting to get caught out by a little bit of concave here with Marines, but that was a brilliant bile here from Wayne.
It really was, and Wayne is not stopping. He's still not droning. He's still making nothing but roaches and lings. He is still all in. Oh, God.
Oh, another couple of biles do end up landing. Ping starting to really come into effect right now.
Yeah, I think that may have been ping there for Ryung, and this is brutal. He's losing far too many Marines. He is looking to stabilize a little bit, but he just has to be careful not to be caught off guard here, because, again, Wayne still isn't droning.
Yeah, it's not too far behind when it comes to the worker count, but as you said, that's because Wayne is focusing everything he's got in his army. There aren't a lot of tanks right now, and the tanks that Ryung does have are fairly isolated. I mean, this is...
One.
He's got 1. This is pretty much the best position to fight right now if you're Zerg, just because it's so open. There aren't any good places to put tanks in.
Yeah. Exactly, the entryway is just so wide open. Here we go, the rocks are being broken down, so Wayne has faster reinforcements. Here we go, he's looking to max out and push in once again. And Ryung, is he ready for this? He now has a 2nd tank on the low ground, but still no bunkers.
Yeah, no bunkers, and they are fairly far away from the rest of this army. Ryung now trying to bait these units into tank range, but as you said, like, there are only 2 tanks. They are standing strong for the time being. Boys are now being pulled, and will that be enough to put Ryung ahead? He's losing every single SCV, and this is starting to be And this is starting to get game-ending. These are no longer negligible losses.
Yeah, exactly. Ryung is losing too much. Lings come in to reinforce from behind as well. The Biles connect with the Medivacs, and Wayne has done it. He has broken the third base, not just the third, but he has broken Ryung.
Yeah, what can Ryung really do in this situation? He would have been fine if he still had his old worker count, but now, yeah, Wayne has completed his objective. He has met his win condition. He can pretty much do whatever right now. He can throw him back up, which is what he's doing. Or he can get Tunneling Claws and burrow, which is also what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's just doubling down here with the upgrades for his roaches, just taking up even further as well. And as you touch on that burrow and Tunneling Claws, like Ryung, with 2 CCs, he can't afford, or 3 CCs, he can't really afford to scan. He's trying to mule as heavily as possible. He's still trying to fight back. He still has a standing army.
And you know what? He did manage to hit 2-2 much quicker than Wayne. If he has a good enough positioning with his 1 tank and with his Marines, 2 tanks, sorry, and his Marines, then maybe he can take an engagement and find some momentum. He's all in! He's pulling the boys once more.
The boys,
and that's all he can really do. Oh, so many Medivacs get taken down. Dark, is that you?
Dark, he's returned, mate. He's in the body of Wayne, but you know what? The Marines are stemming on forward here, is trying to end it, but it looks like Ryung is running out of steam.
Yeah, surprisingly close, all things considered, but there was no way Ryung was gonna pull himself back from that position. GG is called. Wayne ties us up 1-1 and gets us into the ace match.
GG, well played. Ryung in the dark for quite some time there. It took him a long time to finally recognize that an all-in was coming his way, and by the time he did, the roaches were already more than halfway across the map. He had very little time to react.
Very, very, very little time. And yeah, that was pretty much a death blow there for Ryung. I still wanted to believe when he pulled the boys the second time and when he did go for that full-on counterattack, I still wanted to believe. But the Biles from Wayne, they were beautiful. They were landing on everything they needed to. And with that, GG.
GG.
We're going to our ace match.
Yeah, the Biles, they killed tanks, they killed Medivacs, they killed Marines, they killed everything. And speaking of everything, massive shout out to someone in the chat who just gave us a lovely raid. Shout out to Night Phoenix for giving us a raid of 11. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you had an amazing stream.
Hey, less than threes all around coming in here for Night Phoenix, otherwise known as Sly Crab, otherwise known as Catgirl.
Why are you calling him out like that?
That's his name. That's what he goes by sometimes.
Shaking my head. But here we go. We are in our ace match, game number 3, and it's going to be taking place on Gressvan.
What a map to end things on. Very Castlevania-y map.
Oh, yeah, really is. And also the question is, are we ever going to get a longer macro game? Because game 1 and game 2, both players have been very aggressive. They've just been in each other's face constantly.
I hope not.
True.
Depending on how today's bracket goes. But yes, we are going to be continuing our series, ending our series now actually, on Gressvan, where in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Terror player. Coming down from the land of Korea, he of course is going to be representing On-Side Gaming, OSG. He is the Spirit of Maru, Ryung.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressvan, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing Team Starcom. It is Wayne. Mate, we got an update. As we get into this game, as we do get a hatch first from our Zerg player, we have confirmation in the quarterfinals. Cyril, the Finnish Zerg player, has been knocked out of the KFC.
Yeah, surprising. Until you realize he got knocked out by Max Pax.
Exactly.
What a legend.
The contender for the best Protoss in the world, MaxPax, did take down Cyril. Hopefully that was casted by someone. I don't know where the...
Steadfast was on it.
Ah, there you
Steadfast
go.
was on it, yeah.
There you go. Steadfast was covering that series, so alas, Cyril has been eliminated. We are... Yeah, we're kind of...
Yeah.
In a way, cutting down quite a bit. A lot of really high-tier players, top-tier players, are being eliminated left and right.
Yeah, Max, Hero earlier on, Dark as well. And now we're going to see if Wayne or Ryung, both of them contenders in their own way, which one of them is going to advance to the semifinals to face either Showtime or Solar. MaxPax, of course, going to be chilling a little bit, waiting for Clem or Oliveira. And the winner of that is going to go up against Cure.
There you go, mate. There you go. So the player count is getting lower and lower as we do move on forward here as we near the end of the event. We'll see who makes it to the semis. Oh, did you see that? Ryung was trying to deny the gas by using his own gas. Oh my god.
I love it. Now that we're getting into, now that we're getting into some of the matches. Ooh! Wayne will win that in the end. Where was I going with that? Anyway, as I was saying, now that we're getting into, some of the matches that I think are a little bit more even, where we don't have a clear favorite, I like that Ryung and Wayne are both just being cheeky in their own ways, and Ryung is able to take out the tumor, so he's won the mental.
Ryung kills the tumor, but Wayne killed the SCV, so who really won out in the mental battle is the question, as Ryung, every single game so far this series, has gone for that 3rd CC before Starport.
Yeah, surprisingly playing a lot more. Well, I'll have to look at game number 1 again, because that was the mecha game coming out from Ryung, but I think that was also another... Yeah, I can't remember if that was a 3cc before Starport, or if that was just a 3-fact into a 3rd CC.
Yeah, I think it was a 3rd CC into 2 additional factories, but I could be wrong.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I remember we weren't quite looking at the main at the time.
Yeah. Regardless, Ryung is playing a lot more economic up against Wayne here. I don't know if it's a player thing or if it's a matchup thing. Is compared to his series against Hero, he was playing a lot more aggressive. He was playing a lot more, focused a lot more on just getting as strong of a +1 timing as possible.
Yeah, it could be matchup, could be player, regardless. We do see Wayne making a swell of Lings here. He's going to try and sneak out around the edge of the map. He will be avoiding these Hellions, and he's going to be looking to go for a run-by.
Yeah, and this is something that Ryung, I don't think, is particularly prepared for. I mean, he's still got Hellions back at home. If you can get them into a choke point, then these Lings shouldn't be doing too much damage, but Wayne, he's making another round of Lings. He is waiting for that moment where Ryung moves out and he can just dip in.
Yeah, that's a lot of Lings, mate. He's waiting, and here we go. The Hellions are moving out across the map. Once Wayne catches wind of that, he's going to be pulling the trigger, as this 3rd CC is actually going to be scouting the Lings.
Yeah. I don't think Wayne was expecting this, but now that he has confirmation, he decides to pull away into Hellions. This is such unfortunate pathing. Every single Ling here gets taken out, and Ryung has just taken the map control. Accidentally taken the map control at that.
You say accidentally because he saw the Lings with his 3rd CC. Ryung intentionally positioned his Hellions to body block on top of the ramp. That was predetermined. Oh my god.
This is why Ryung is the pro player, and I'm stuck here at home. This is why you're 600 MMR above me.
Smurge, Bobby, smurge. And here we go. Once again, we have 2 more factories, but a very different kind of mech. Very different.
Yeah, kind of Maru-esque in a way. Gonna be, I imagine, playing Siege mech. Wait, I have to go back into my data banks, to my memory banks here. As, yeah, we have been seeing a lot of Hyperflight rotors coming out, specifically from Maru, as he goes into mech, but he does play both Siege and Battle mech behind it.
Oh, he really does. You can transition either or here, but before that happens, the Banshees do make it into the main base. A lot of drones are going down, and if they do head behind the mineral line, they will scout the Spire. So far, they have not.
Yeah, that one Spore Crawler is doing so much to zone these Banshees away from the Spire, and I don't think Ryung has scouted this.
Yeah, looking at his vision, he has not seen the Spire, but he has killed 9 drones. He's keeping all of his Banshees alive, and you know what? He's not done. The Hellions are still being active. We do have Hyperflight Rotors on the way alongside Macfield and a Blue Flame, so it is going to be that Battle Mech style.
Yeah, thankfully. Not going to be looking at siege lines behind supply depot walls for 20 minutes before anything happens, so... yeah, a little bit of a repeat of game number 1 here. Well, the overall strategy is the same as game number 1 here from Ryung. He isn't diving into Cyclones quite as quickly and is instead prioritizing Banshees.
Yeah, because of that, that may hurt him. Mutas are on the way, and because he prioritizes these Banshees, he doesn't have as many Cyclones available. He doesn't have as much anti-air available to deal with these Mutas, so we'll see how much damage Wayne can get done. It is imperative that he deals some economic damage because he was sustaining so much of it earlier.
Yeah, Macfield Accelerator is just about to finish up right now, and Wayne doesn't have too many Mutas to work with, but he can always find some little kinks in Ryung's armor where he can return the favor from earlier on, where he can get a ton of SCV kills.
Yeah, and here we go, the Hellions pushing forward. Ling Bane is ready to meet him, though no roaches this time. Bailing speed is now done as well for Wayne, and Ryung will back off.
Yeah, but while this was all going on, Ryung does confirm the Mutalisk this time. Wayne didn't go for any counter harass. He turned around, he tried to defend with everything he had, which I think was the right call. He knew that if that base went down, everything would go down behind it. But it does give Ryung a little bit of time to prepare against the Mutas.
I mean, turrets are being thrown down in every single mineral line. We do have Hellions just confirming the 5th base here from Wayne, and it looks like the Hellions are all going to go down at the same time. The Mutas still haven't really paid for themselves. They haven't found any damage.
But he's still committed to them. He's still getting 6 more Mutas on the way. Armories are about to finish up here for Ryung, so yeah, I feel like these Mutas aren't going to scale well once a couple of Thors get thrown into the mix.
They really won't, but until that happens, we'll see what they can get done as the Banshees, they click. That's a kill!
Not a cancel here. The Overseer was unfortunately just a little bit too far behind and wasn't able to give these Mutalisks detection. Oh man, Wayne is hurting. Wayne is hurting a lot of minerals right now.
He really is hurting. We do have a couple of Blue Flame Hellions once again delaying that 5th base. They will be cleaned up as we speak, but again, we banked up so much. We just put so much into these Mutas, and they haven't really done too much whatsoever. They can't really engage with these Cyclones. No Thor production though. We're still relying on pure Cyclone.
Pure Cyclone and Widow Mines coming out here from Ryung. I like it. I like it. Risk reward in a way, you know. Thors, they are very chunky. They can get caught out in the middle of the map by Lings, and of course they take up a lot of supply. So yeah, Ryung definitely wants to maximize the efficiency of his army, but we'll see if he's able to execute it right. 1 Thor is on the way, but I don't think Ryung really has the supply to make much more than that.
Yeah, Ryung has been watching some Vendetta streams because this is hashtag MigsMech going for those mines here incorporated with the rest of the army. Meanwhile, the lock-ons are real and a massive chunk of Mutas go down.
Oh,
Power the Cyclone.
even if this was the pre-patch, I think those Mutas were gonna go down regardless of that many Cyclones, but yeah. Man, that pains me to watch. I may be a Terran player, but I'm not a mech player. That was painful.
Yeah, again, like we were talking about it in the previous game, how Mutas are so much more fragile against these new Cyclones, and we saw that then and there, but here we go. We do have this time Ling Bane to support.
And that's a lot of Ling Bane Muta coming in right now. If they can get some really good connections on top of these Cyclones, I think that's going to be it, but instead, they find connections with Widow Mines, and that was basically every Baneling being taken out of commission. Ryung, he's looking primed for a counterattack.
Those were the most insane mine connections. Wayne was not expecting mines whatsoever, and he gets greeted by them in the face. All of his Ling Bane goes down, and he's forced back once again.
Yeah, all the way back on 4 bases. Thankfully, his 5th base did finish up at about this time. He's on a decent worker count. He's about to be on 80, which is where you want to be at the late game, but yeah, Wayne unfortunately doesn't have enough of a bank that he can start throwing units at Ryung until something cracks.
Yeah, the other difficult thing here about what Wayne is doing is that he is heavily investing into these mutas, and what that means is that Wayne skipped out on Evo Chambers. His Ling main is 0-0. Because of that, like, it's not really the best supportive unit here. Like, ideally, he builds up the muta count and he can afford to invest his gas elsewhere later on, but he just hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, and we can see right now, yes, every Zerg unit is melting, whether it's the Mutalists who have flyer attack upgrades, and they're about to have flyer +2, but they don't have Carapace. Nothing has Carapace.
Yeah. There is a no defense. We have a massive wave of Wing Bane trying to hit the triangular third base. It looks like he's going to be able to take down the center tower at least.
Yeah, that'll be a way of keeping Ryung guessing at the very least, but yeah, it's not really the most valuable pickoff right now for him.
It will make it a little bit easier to go for another run by, but Ryung is getting ready for it. He does set up his minefield.
See it so clearly.
Not again, Papi, not again. As this time it looks like Ryung is going to get caught out. The Lings are going for a surround on the Cyclones. Oh no!
And the Thors as well, but there are plenty of Widow Mines behind that. A little bit of a bait here from Ryung. And with that, GG is called. Ryung takes that series 2-1, and we'll move to the semis. Oh, that was exhilarating right at the end there when we got to see all of those Widow Mines go bing bang boom. That was something else.
Aye, mate. Did you see those Widow Mine shots? That was brutal, mate. That was
Widow Mines in succession, yeah.
Yeah, the Muta Cloud evaporated. GG, well played. Ryung does take the series. He moves on to the semi-finals.
Yeah, where he's going to have a little bit of a break here as he doesn't have an opponent just yet. We do have confirmation. Showtime took out Gumiho 2-0, and Solar took out Spirit 2-0. So they are currently facing off in that quarterfinals. Winner of that will go on to face Ryung.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, I'm not sure how it's going to work this week, if we're going to be holding the semifinals and casting both of them, or if we're going to have them simultaneously, but we'll get confirmation on that pretty soon.